Good morning, everyone. It's Rabbi Akiva Males, and I hope you're well. Today is Friday. It's January 8th. We're getting ready for Parshas Shemos. Wanted to share a short Dvar Torah with you. We're going to be introduced this week in this Parsha to Miriam and Yocheved. But the first time that we see them mentioned in the Parsha, they're not called by their real names. They're referred to by their nicknames. The Pasuk tells us it's in Shemos Aleph, the first parak in Shemos. It's Pasuk Tetzvav. Verse 15, it says, Vayomer Melech Mitzrayim lemiyaldos evrios. So Paro, the king of Egypt, he summons the Jewish midwives, and he says to them, Asher Shema Achas Shifra. The pasuk tells us who were these, the heads of the midwives. One of them was named Shifra, the Shema Shenis Pua. The second one was named Pua. Who was Shifra and who was Pua? So Rashi quotes the famous Medrash and the Chazal here. Rashi says, Shifra, who is Shifra? Yocheved. That's Yocheved. That's the mother of Moshe, Aaron, and Miriam. Why was she called Shifra? Al Shem shemishaperes es havlad. She would beautify the children. She would comb their hair, bathe them, make them look nice, and make them look presentable, and clean them up. What about Pua? Who was Pua? So Rashi says, oh, Miriam. This was Miriam. Why was she called Pua? Shepoa medaberes v'ogala vlad. She had a way of soothing the child. She spoke to and murmured to the child. Kederach hanoshim amafaisos tinok. Like the women who are so good and they're so well at pacifying tinok habocha, a child who's crying. They're able to offer that comfort to get the child to settle down and to be comfortable once again. And that's how Yocheved and Miriam, these great women, these Nashim Tzidkanios that they were, that's how they earned these nicknames of Shifra and Pua. That's what Rashi tells us, quoting Chazal. I saw a beautiful thought from Rav Shmuel Rozovsky. Rav Shmuel Rozovsky was one of the older Roshei Yeshiva from the previous generation. He was one of the great Roshei Yeshiva produced by the European yeshivas, and he for many years was very famous for his shiurim that he gave in the Panovich Yeshiva in its early days of its founding in Israel. And Rav Shmuel Rozovsky has the following idea on these Rashis. And he points out as follows. It seems very odd is that Yocheved and Miriam went on to have incredible accomplishments in their lives. Yocheved, she was the mother of Moshe, Aaron, and Miriam. She raised them. And she brought them to their spiritual heights. That's absolutely astonishing. Could you imagine what kind of tzidkanis, what kind of righteous woman she was? And Miriam went on to become Miriam HaNeviah. She had all these zechusim, and she was a great leader in the Jewish people and role model for so many. Isn't it strange that they are immortalized here in the Torah with these nicknames, which seem rather mundane? Is that the great Yocheved, she earns the nickname Shifra because she would beautify the children. And the great Miriam, she's going to be known as Pua because she had a way to nurture these kids, to pacify them when they were crying. She knew exactly what to say, how to sing to them perhaps. Doesn't it seem strange with all their accomplishments that they wanted to have in life? These are the nicknames, so to say, that the Torah enshrines on them. How do we understand that? And Rav Shmuel Rozovsky says, yes, they did go on to have incredible accomplishments. But you know what their greatest accomplishments were? Their greatest accomplishments were that they nurtured these Jewish children. They nurtured them, and they made certain that they would be happy, that they would be clean, that they would be able to succeed and go on and accomplish whatever tasks they needed to do. Yes, they had many other accomplishments, but perhaps these were their greatest accomplishments. And that's why these nicknames, these pseudonyms that Yocheved and Miriam have, Shifra and Pua, are all based on this career point in their lives, when they were the Miyaldos, when they were the ones who were helping these women give birth, and they were getting those Jewish children off to a good start. That's where they earned those nicknames, because perhaps that was the greatest accomplishments that they had in their life. There's nothing more important than nurturing a Jewish child. And we should never think that if we're involved in helping a little child with something that seems so mundane, and we think, oh, we have so many other pressing concerns. We should never think that. We should say, Baruch Hashem, I have the opportunity to nurture this Jewish child now. What could be greater than that? I also think this is a reason for us to really think back and thank our parents and thank our mothers specifically for all of the nurturing that they provided us with in our earlier years. We probably don't even remember half of what they did for us, but we would not be who we are today if it wasn't for that wonderful nurturing, the love that our mothers showered upon us. I want to take this opportunity to thank everybody. As you may be aware, my parents are recovering from COVID. Baruch Hashem, my father is doing terrific. And my mother, she's making some great strides, but she still needs a refuah shalema. She's in the hospital. She seems to be moving in the right direction, but she still really needs a refuah shalema. And on behalf of myself, Layla and myself, but on behalf of my siblings, my entire family, I want to thank everybody who's had my mother in their tefillos, in their prayers, has been thinking, has been reaching out. My mother, Fega Bela Bas Shem Leah. We really appreciate everyone's tefillos, everyone's davening, everyone's well wishes, and the love that is being expressed by so many. So thank you very much. May my mother be blessed with a refuah shalema b'soshar chole Yisrael. May Hashem answer all of our tefillos, bring an end to this pandemic as soon as possible, and provide a refuah shalema, complete healing to everyone who's in need of one. May all our tefillos be answered so we can get past this period and everyone should recover as soon as possible. Have a good Shabbos, everyone.